In the year 167 BCE, the ancient city of Jerusalem was a cauldron of tension. The Seleucid Empire, under King Antiochus IV Epiphanes, had desecrated the Second Temple, erecting a statue of Zeus and sacrificing pigs on the altar. The air was thick with the acrid smell of burning offerings, and the streets echoed with the clatter of soldiers' armor. The Jewish people, led by the Maccabees, were on the brink of rebellion. The conflict was not just political, but deeply religious, as Antiochus sought to Hellenize the Jews, forcing them to abandon their faith. The suspense was palpable. Would the Maccabees rise to defend their sacred traditions, or would they succumb to the overwhelming might of the Seleucid Empire? Judah Maccabee, a charismatic and devout leader, stood at the forefront of this struggle. Born into the priestly Hasmonean family, Judah was deeply rooted in the Jewish faith, his identity intertwined with the Torah and the covenant with God. His character was marked by unyielding determination and a fierce sense of justice. Judah's motivation was clear: to restore the sanctity of the temple and preserve the Jewish way of life. Yet, he was not without internal conflict. The weight of leadership pressed heavily on him, and the fear of failure loomed large. His growth as a leader was evident as he transformed from a local rebel to a national hero, inspiring his people to fight for their freedom and faith. The external conflict reached its zenith during the Battle of Emmaus. The Seleucid army, led by General Gorgias, was a formidable force, with well-trained soldiers and advanced weaponry. The Maccabees, though outnumbered and outgunned, relied on their intimate knowledge of the terrain and their unshakable faith. The battle was fierce, the clash of swords and the cries of the wounded filling the air. Judah's strategic brilliance turned the tide as he orchestrated a surprise attack that routed the Seleucid forces. This victory was not just a military triumph, but a spiritual one, reaffirming the Jews' covenant with God and their right to self-determination. Internally, Judah grappled with the moral implications of his actions. The war was brutal, and the cost of freedom was high. He questioned whether the violence was justified, even in the name of faith. His personal sacrifice was immense, as he put his life on the line repeatedly, driven by his ideal of a free and holy Israel. This internal struggle led to his growth, as he came to understand that true leadership required both strength and compassion. His choices were guided by a deep sense of responsibility to his people and his God, and his actions were a testament to his unwavering commitment to their cause. The moral conflict extended beyond Judah to the entire Jewish community. The Hellenization policies of Antiochus posed a direct challenge to their religious identity. Many Jews were torn between preserving their traditions and embracing the new, seemingly more sophisticated, Hellenistic culture. This clash of values was epitomized in the figure of Menelaus, the Hellenized high priest, who collaborated with the Seleucids. The Maccabees' struggle was not just against an external enemy, but also against the internal erosion of their faith. The conflict forced the Jews to confront the essence of their identity and the price they were willing to pay to protect it. Time was a critical factor in this conflict. The Maccabees' rebellion unfolded against the backdrop of a rapidly changing world, where the balance of power was constantly shifting. The Seleucid Empire was vast, but it was also overextended, facing threats on multiple fronts. The Maccabees had to act swiftly, seizing the moment to strike before the empire could consolidate its forces. The timing of their actions was crucial, and their ability to exploit the empire's weaknesses was a testament to their strategic acumen. The rebellion was a race against time, as the Maccabees sought to reclaim their heritage before it was lost forever. The quest for truth was another layer of the conflict. The Maccabees were driven by a desire to uncover and preserve the true teachings of their faith, which had been obscured by the Hellenistic influences. They sought to reveal the lies and distortions that had been imposed upon them, reclaiming their spiritual heritage. This search for truth was not just intellectual but deeply personal, as it involved a reconnection with their ancestors and their covenant with God. The Maccabee struggle was a battle for the soul of Judaism, a fight to ensure that the true essence of their faith would endure. The rebellion also involved a complex interplay of political forces. The Maccabees had to navigate the treacherous waters of alliances and rivalries, both within the Jewish community and with external powers. They sought to build coalitions with other oppressed groups, while also dealing with the internal divisions that threatened to undermine their efforts. The balance of power was delicate.